Do you live here, or are you just visiting? Karen asked, loud enough for every neighbor trimming roses to hear. The mail key froze in my hand, cameras blinked on across porches. She smiled like she'd already decided the answer. I felt heat crawl up my neck, humiliation sharp and public, exactly how she wanted it. Then she stepped closer and whispered, "People like you usually don't last here." That was the moment everything changed. The HOA had been targeting my house for months. Fake violation notices, mystery fines, landscaping complaints about flowers they planted. I kept every letter, every email, every security clip. Karen thought pressure would make me sell cheap. Instead, it made me patient. If you love powerful stories, you don't want to miss this. But before we continue, tell us where you are watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. What Karen didn't know was I had just closed on the property next door and the one behind hers. My grandfather taught me something simple. Never argue when someone is showing you their plan. Just document it. That afternoon, I waved sweetly and said, "Yes, I belong here. Actually, I might belong here longer than you." She laughed. The neighbors laughed. I smiled wider. Because the city zoning officer scheduled to visit tomorrow, he was coming because of a complaint I filed about selective HOA enforcement, misuse of funds, and illegal lien threats. And Karen had signed. By morning, Karen was already outside, performing confidence for the neighborhood like it was a sport. Clipboard, sunglasses, that tight smile she used when she thought she'd already won. When the city SUV turned onto our street, she actually waved at it, like they were here to help her. They weren't. Two officials stepped out, calm, professional. One held a thick folder, the other held a tablet. They didn't even look at me first. They walked straight to Karen. "Ma'am, are you the acting HOA president?" Her smile stretched. "Yes, I run this community." I almost felt bad. Almost. They asked about the selective violation notices, the emergency fines, the liens filed without member voting. Karen laughed, actually laughed, and said, "We enforce rules where needed." The taller officer opened the folder, printed emails, her emails, including the one where she wrote, "If we pressure certain homeowners, they usually leave." The air left the street. You could hear sprinklers clicking 3 houses away. Karen turned pale, then red. That's taken out of context. That's when Mr. Alvarez from 2 houses down stepped forward, then Mrs. Carter, then 3 more neighbors. One by one, they confirmed they'd been warned not to question Karen's decisions. Plot twist. Karen never saw coming? The HOA treasurer walked up, holding a banker's envelope. He looked terrified. "I told you to fix it," he whispered to her. Inside were reimbursement records, thousands spent on community beautification. Translated, Karen's backyard renovation. Then the zoning officer spoke again. "Ma'am, we'll need you to step away from HOA authority effective immediately." Karen looked at me like I'd set the sun on fire. I just smiled and offered her a bottle of water. Sweet, calm, unshakable. And that was only the beginning. Karen tried to recover fast, too fast. "This is harassment," she snapped, voice shaking but loud. "He's been trying to take over this neighborhood since he moved in." I didn't respond. I just handed the zoning officer another envelope. Inside, timeline screenshots, certified letters, and one very specific document Karen never expected me to have, the HOA insurance policy rider. The officer scanned it, then looked at Karen like gravity had shifted. "Ma'am, did the board vote to remove discrimination liability coverage last quarter?" Karen blinked. Once. Silence answered for her. The treasurer actually stepped backward, because without that rider, every selective fine, every targeted lien, every pressure tactic email, personal liability, not HOA liability. Hers. The neighbors started whispering. Phones were definitely recording now. Then came the funniest, sweetest moment of revenge I never planned. Mrs. Carter, who Karen fined $500 for excess wind chimes, stepped forward and said, loud and cheerful, "Oh, Karen, remember when you said rules protect us from the wrong people?" The street went quiet again. Karen tried to speak. Nothing came out. Then the second city official cleared his throat. "We're freezing all HOA accounts pending investigation." Karen physically swayed, because everyone knew what that meant. No access, no legal shield, no quiet settlements, just audits, just exposure, just consequences. She looked at me one last time, not angry anymore, scared. And I gave her the same polite smile she gave me the day she asked if I belonged here. "Please like, comment, and subscribe." The investigation moved faster than anyone expected. Within 2 weeks, the HOA board held an emergency community meeting, except this time, Karen wasn't sitting at the front table. She sat in the second row, alone, no clipboard, no sunglasses, just silence and whispers following her like shadows. The city auditor presented everything on a projector: misused funds, selective enforcement patterns, unauthorized legal threats, personal vendor contracts linked to Karen's relatives. Gasps filled the room. Then came the final twist. The bank representative stood and cleared his throat. Due to improper lien filings and documented harassment tied to property value manipulation, several affected homeowners qualify for financial restitution. Neighbors looked at each other in shock. Then he added, including refinancing protections and community oversight transition. Translation: the HOA was losing control to a city-supervised housing council. Karen stood up suddenly. "This is because of him," she shouted, pointing at me. I finally spoke. "No," I said gently. "This is because you thought nobody would check." The room went silent. The vote to remove her permanently passed almost instantly. As people filed out, Mrs. Carter squeezed my arm and whispered, "You didn't just protect yourself, you protected all of us." Outside, Karen walked past me. No words, just defeat. I watched the sunset hit the houses, peaceful, equal, quiet. Belonging isn't something someone gives you. It's something nobody can take. Please like, comment, and subscribe.